Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Zabron Ernest, a teacher at Al-Muntazir Islamic Seminary. Today, I'll be taking you through the area and circumference of a circle. Now, let me start with circumference of a circle. The formula for finding the circumference of a circle is pi times diameter. Usually, this pi in the primary school, you were taught that pi is approximately 3.14. So we will be using the pi, which is 3.14, and the pi is approximately 3.14. So this is the pi which will be used most frequently. Now, some other people say, what if pi is not given? Should you go ahead using 22 over 7? Usually, in Cambridge, we prefer using 3.14 as the approximate of pi. Or you can go ahead using the pi button on the calculator to use in the calculations. So what is the circumference of a circle? The circumference is this part here, this part from here. If you start from there, going around the circle. This is what we call the circumference of a circle. So the circumference of a circle is the distance around a circle. So this is what we call a circumference. So a circumference is that part around the circle. So that is your circumference. Okay? Now, what do we have to know before we calculate the circumference of a circle? Now, before we calculate the circumference of the circle, we need to know the diameter. We need to know the diameter of a circle. And what does diameter mean? Diameter is any point which is at the center, of the diameter is a line which goes through the center of a circle. Any line that goes through the center of a circle is what we call diameter. So diameter is any line that goes through the center of the circle. Now, it can be something like so. It can be vertical down, so that is still your diameter, or it can be slanting like that. That is still your diameter. So diameter is any line that goes through the center of the circle. Now, if you know the diameter here, the D, how do we calculate the circumference? So we usually say circumference equals to the pi times diameter. So circumference, which is C, equals to pi times diameter. Okay? So C stands for the circumference, and this D stands for the diameter. Remember what I said, pi is approximately to be 3.14. That's the number which we'll be using throughout the discussion. So that is all about circumference. We don't have so many formulas on finding the circumference. Then afterwards, you need to know the area of a circle, the inside part of a circle. The inside part of this circle is what we call the area of a circle. So the area of a circle depends on the radius. The formula of area of a circle depends on the radius. Radius meaning half of the diameter. So we say area of a circle is pi times radius times radius. So you take your radius, take the radius, multiply the radius 2 times, and then multiply by pi. So we say that area of a circle is pi r square, and r square means radius times radius. So radius in short, I will be using radius in short and small. letter R, whereas diameter, I will be using the small letter D for diameter. Okay, so in short, we say area of a circle equals to pi times radius square. Times radius square. And in short, we say pi times r square, times r square. Or shortly, you can write pi r square is the radius. Pi r square is the area for finding the, pi r square is the formula for finding area of a circle. Now, there is a close relationship. There is a close relationship between radius and diameter. Radius and diameter depend on each other. So we have a relationship. We have a relationship between radius and diameter. How do we get radius if we know the diameter? If you want to get radius, given the diameter, what you do, you take that diameter, divide by 2. That means half of a diameter gives you radius. And you can see here, you can see that diameter is the whole thing, is the whole distance from here to this point, but through the center. Whereas radius is any distance. Radius is any distance from the center to any part of the circumference of a circle. So if you know the diameter and you want to calculate the radius, go ahead taking diameter divided by 2. The answer you get will be radius. How about diameter? Diameter is twice the radius. When you take the radius, multiply by 2, you'll be getting diameter. So you have to know the relationship between radius and diameter. So in conclusion, we say radius is half the diameter, whereas diameter is twice the radius. Now let us see some worked examples. So you can help me write here, worked examples. Let us see a few examples. How do the questions come on? All right, so worked examples. This is the question I got from the textbook, and it says that work out Roman 1, the circumference of a circle with radius 4 centimeters. Work out the circumference of a circle with a radius 4 centimeters. In that calculation, take pi as 3.14. And round your final answer, round your final answer correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, so the first thing is to find the circumference of that circle with radius 4 centimeter. And then after getting that answer, that circumference, we're going to round our answer correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, so solutions. What is the formula for circumference? So you write the formula. Circumference equals to pi times diameter. Or we say circumference equals to pi d. But in the question, you can see that we don't have d, we don't have diameter. Instead, we have radius. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to first calculate the diameter, because we don't know the diameter, we are given the radius. So how do we calculate the diameter? Diameter is twice the radius. You know what it means? It means that 2 times the radius. That is your diameter. Okay, I hope we're moving together. So diameter is twice the radius. But what is the radius? what is the radius? If you go back to the question, the radius given is 4 centimeters. The radius given is 4 centimeters. So go ahead writing 4 centimeters is your radius. So when you take your radius, which is 4 multiplied by 2, you get the so-called diameter. Now, what is 2 times 4? 2 times 4 is 80 centimeters. So that is your diameter. So your diameter is 8 centimeters. Now, after getting the diameter, then now you can find the circumference, because the circumference is pi times diameter. Now I already know that my diameter is 8, so I can go ahead calculating the circumference. Now, so the circumference will be the circumference, which in short, we prefer saying C, capital letter C. The circumference, which is C, equals to pi, which is 3.14, times 8 centimeters. That will be, in order to save time, you take your calculator and then do 3.14 times 8. But for me, I'm gonna do it mentally. 3.14 times 8, this will be 32. Carry 3, 8 times 1 is 8. So you're gonna get 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry 1, this is 24, 25. So how many decimal places are there? 1, 2. So 1, 2. We have the circumference, which you see is 25.12 but centimeter. Now remember the instruction of remember the instruction of the question. The instruction of the question says, can you leave your answer correct to 1 decimal place? So you go back to the answer, which is 25.12, and you put this answer to 1 decimal place. We have 2 decimal places there, so we're going to stand there. There is a 2, so that means you will be adding 0 there, and then you'll be having 25.1 centimeter. This is your final answer. I hope that is clear, so you can go ahead, you can pause this video, copy all those, stop the video, copy all these, keep moving, copy all those, and then come to the worked example, and then we are good to go. Okay, so this was Roman 1, the circumference of a circle. How about Roman 2, the area of a circle with radius 4 centimeters? Now, how do we find the area of a circle? So like as I said, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So I'm going to write there, Roman 2, I'm going to write here, Roman 2 is area of a circle. Now, area of a circle, where capital letter A stands for area of the circle is pi r squared. Do you know what it means? It means pi, which is 3.14, times radius, times radius. What is pi? My pi is 3.14. What is radius? My radius is given. If I scroll up there, my radius is given. It's here. Radius is 4 centimeters. So I'm going to go down and substitute my 4 centimeters there. So this will be, radius is 4 centimeter times again 4 centimeters. Now, what is your area? You can go ahead completing this, but mind you, centimeter times centimeter is centimeter square. Now, take your calculator, do 3.14 times 4 times 4. The answer you get should be filled here. But remember, round your answer to 1 decimal place. I guess I should finish this question because majority of students get confused in rounding. So let me compute 3.14 times 4 times 4. 3.14, this 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So I can go ahead doing 3.14 times 16. See that? Let me arrange properly. I have 3.14 multiplied by 16. Now, how do we multiply this? This is 4 times 6. This is 4 times 6, 24. Carry 2. 6 times 1 is 6. That is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. When you add those, you're going to get 4. You're going to get 12. This is 9. That will be 10. This is 4. That will be 5. So can you see that I'm getting 2 decimal places? I'm getting 50. I'm getting 50.24. But do you remember the instruction? The instruction says, leave your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Okay? Leave your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So I'm gonna stand here on the first decimal place and then check on my right hand side. I have 4, put a border. 4 does not exceed 5, so I'll be adding 0 there. And the final answer will be 50.2 but centimeter square. Now, you can pause the video and try to do some small calculations. And this is the question which I'm talking about. Area equals to pi. Area equals to pi r square. Area equals to pi r square. And then you do that calculation. You end up getting 50.2 centimeter square. And this is my multiplication here. And you can see that this looks correct. This is one that is 350.24. Okay, I hope that is clear. Let me see if I can push further. The next question. Oh yes, I have another question here. It's obviously like the same question, but this time we are given the diameter. We are given the diameter and the question is to find the circumference and the area. So Roman 1, circumference, Roman 2 is the area, but we have, in each case, we have diameter. The previous question, we did not have the diameter. What did we get instead? We had the radius. Can you see that? So there is when they ask you to find the circumference when you are given the radius, and there is when they ask you to find the circumference when you are given the diameter. Right? So you can now pause this video and then try this question, work out the circumference given the diameter, and work out the area given the same diameter. But remember to write your answers correct to 1 decimal place. I hope you pause the video and then you have tried how to answer this question. But as for now, let me show you what is the correct answer. Circumference. Let me start with Roman 1. Circumference. Do you remember the formula for circumference of a circle? I guess you said yes. Circumference is pi d. Circumference is pi d. But what does pi d means? Pi d means pi times d. What is pi? Pi is this one, this number here, 3.14 times. What is d? D stands for the diameter, which you have here, 3 meters. Now, you need to show the calculations for 3.14 times 3. So 3.14 multiplied by 3, this will be 12, carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 is, plus 1 is 4, and 3 times 3 is 9. So that will be 1, 2 decimal places. So that will be 9.42. Okay, that 12, let me check again, 12, 3, 4, that will be 9. But this will be 3.14 times 3, this will be meter. Can you see that? Now the question says, can you round your answer correct to 1 decimal place? So you should go ahead and round this number. This is the first decimal place. Check on your right. There's a 2. A 2 does not exceed 5, so you'll be adding 0 there. So this will be for 9.4 meter. This is your answer. So how do we write? You're going to write C for circumference equals to C for circumference equals to 9.4. I hope by the time you tried the question, then you got the same answer. So you can pause this video, try to show the calculations on how we got the circumference. Okay? Now, let me go to the Roman 2. Roman 2 is talking about the same question, but this time is the area of a circle with diameter 3 meters. But this time is area. Do you remember the formula for the area of a circle? You can pause the video and try to work out the area of the circle. But what is the formula for the area of a circle? We say area of a circle. Area of a circle is equal to pi r square. You know what does pi r square mean? This means pi times r square. But do you know also what does r square mean? R square means r times r. So area equals to pi times r times r. Now, if you go back to the question here, we are given the diameter. But surprisingly, the formula uses radius. That is why we need to know the relationship between diameter and radius. Now, how can you get radius? How can you get radius given the diameter? Radius is always half of diameter. See that? Radius is always half of the diameter. In short, diameter has to be divided by 2 in order for you to get radius. Now, what is the diameter? If you go back to the question, the diameter here, the diameter is 3 meters. It's 3 meters. So take that diameter, divide by 2. The answer you get after dividing by 2 is what we call radius. So you just do 3 meters divided by 2. Let me check if I got it correct. Yes, the diameter is 3 meters. Now, what is 3 divided by 2? 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 meter. So 1.5 is your radius. 1.5 is your radius. Now you can go back to the formula here, which says area equals to pi times radius times radius. This one here. Area equals to pi times radius times radius. What is your pi? Your pi is 3.14. And what is your radius? Your radius is 1.5. Can you see that? What is your radius? So after getting the radius, we can now find the area, which says area equals to pi times radius times radius. Our pi is 3.14. Our radius is 1.5 meter. Again, another one radius, 1.5 meter. Can you help me complete this? 3.14 times 1.5 times 1.5. But make sure that your final answer will be meter times meter, which is meter squared. But again, after getting this answer is not final. This answer is not final. You should also round your answer to 1 decimal place. Can you see this? Can you see this instruction? The instruction says round your answers correct to 1 decimal place. So the first answer, what is, I will be checking your books, make sure that the first answer should show what is 3.14 times 1.5 times 1. What is the answer you got? The other answer will be when you round. So here, round your answer to 1 decimal place. So I want that answer to be here. And also it will be in meter square. I hope that it's very clear. And now, how do we copy notes from here? The first part is pause the video, copy circumference. Copy circumference. Now the next part is stop this, just stop this video, pause this video, and then copy for the area. But for the area, we need to know the radius. But over there, we are given the diameter. So I have to take the diameter divided by 2, and then I got 1.5. So then you go ahead with calculation. Area equals to 3.14. Now here, I want to see two answers. One answer here. How do we get this answer? Is take 3.14 times 1.5 times 1.5. So the first answer should be there. And this, the second answer should be round the answer you got here. Round the answer you got here to 1 decimal place. Can you see what I'm talking about? Okay, lastly but not least, I want to assess your understanding. I want to assess your understanding. I have taught you what it means by, diameter. And also I have taught you what it means by circumference. Now you can pause this video. Try this question. Can you see this question over here? This will be our last question for today's session. Now pause, before I give you the answers, try to pause this video, try to read this question, and try it somewhere with pencil, and then try to compare the answers I'll be putting in there, and then try to see if your answers are correct. Now here is a list of parts of the circle. I explained to you what circumference means. I also explained to you what diameter means. I did not explain to you what does a chord mean. But since there are three vocabularies, one is circumference, another one is diameter, another one is chord. Since I have explained circumference, I also explained to you diameter, so you can at least come to know now, if you have labeled the circumference correctly, and you also labeled the diameter correctly, then the remaining blank space will be for the chord, What is this? This part of the circle, all this part of the circle. Do you remember what I said? This part of the circle is known as the circumference of the circle. So here you're going to write circumference. You see that? Circumference. Do you remember this line here? So that is done, circumference. Do you remember what I said, that this part of the circle is known as the center? It's known as the center of the circle. This part here is known as the center of the circle. Now, any line that goes through the center, this line here, do you remember what I said? I said this line which goes through the center is known as the diameter. It's known as the diameter. Now, any line which is not passing through the center, it is either this way or that way, as long as it is not passing through the center. Such line which does not pass through the center inside a circle is known as a chord. Is known as what? A chord. So automatically, this will be a chord. Okay, that will be a chord. Now, can you notice that this is A? So I have helped you answer part A. I have helped you answer part A. Where is part B? Part B, if you have answered this, I guess you have understood. So go ahead drawing all this and then put this labeling and then put circumference there, diameter there, chord there. So these are parts of the circle. The last part, maybe, before I leave, let me try to explain how do we shade parts of a circle? How do we shade parts of a circle? In the circle below, draw a sector. In a circle below, draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle. In this circle here, that's it. This is the circle I'm talking about. Draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle. Label this sector as S. So what we're gonna do, 25%, in order for you to figure out very easily, is first write 25% as a fraction. So 25% is 25 out of 100. When you simplify this, it means 25/1, 25/4. It means 1/4. So 25% of a circle is the same as 1/4. Is the same as 1/4 of the circle. Now, how do we get this 1/4 of the circle? How do we shade? How do we draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle? Label this sector as S. Draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle. Label this sector as S. How do we draw that? How do we draw that sector? What do we do? You draw a circle like this, you draw a circle like that, put where the center is, and then divide this circle into 4 parts. Divide this circle into 4 parts. So I'm going to divide this circle into 4 parts. Can you see that? 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle. Label this sector as S. I repeat this question. In the circle below, draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle. Label that as S. So this part, let me try to shade. Let me try to shade that part. This part is what I'm talking about. It can be either that part, or this part, or this part, or this part there. In this circle. So this is the part they're talking, and it's better you shade it. You shade it so that it can be clearly seen. Shade that so that it can be clearly seen. But otherwise, this is the one they are talking about. Label this sector as S. Label this sector as S. So that's the sector they are talking about. That is the sector they are talking about. Okay, I hope that is very clear. So you can try to do that at your own time, and please make sure that you shade in that sector. And the sector which I'm talking about is this one here. Can you see? This is the sector I'm talking about. Can you see this? This is the sector. But they said in the circle below, draw a sector that is 25% of the total area of the circle. Label this as S. So this is the sector. This is the sector which I'm talking about. Okay, and you draw it in a circle. So let me take it back. Bam. Can you see that? So that is my sector. Okay, this is my sector. Okay, take it out, that is the sector. Take it back, this is my sector. Can you see that? All right, so go ahead drawing the circle, then cut that circle into 4 parts, and then label that as yes, and shade it. All right, so until next time, Zebron here, bye-bye for now.